Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I, of course, am your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor here at Cryptocurrencies.com. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from. And although you can't see it from directly outside my office here, things are not doing well here. Things are not doing well here. A beautiful, although I would like to be very, very happy about the fact that the cold snap is over in my location of the wonderful world that we inhabit. Unfortunately, it is a bog out there. It is a pit of despair, and not the bog of eternal stench, so not that bad, but yes, very difficult to drive around in. As you guys know, I've been pretty busy this week moving into the new office as well as dealing with other moving. Just honestly, lots of coordinating of moving furniture and lots of actually moving furniture myself, and doing a lot of driving to kind of coordinate all this. And one of the fantastic things about last night is that I was out all day doing the best that I can to keep up with the market mobily, but a little different from just being able to be here in my office and actively trade 8 hours a day, which is what I normally do. And got home pretty late last night after having to turn around. It took me 3 additional hours to get home or back to the office after road closure after road closure after road closure after road closure. So it's completely flooded out to where I am. Now, listen, because of the weather outside, everything is kind of cruddy. I'm seeing that the upstream's pretty good. If you have an issue, just click back a minute and watch the show, watch the live stream a minute behind, and it will completely take care of the lag. Apologize for that. The new service is a whole lot better than it has been previously, but it's still not immune to the weather. All right, guys. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. I see, hey, Delilah, I see you. What's going on, honey? Jay Constant, Philip Tudor, Jurgen, good to see you. Will Caesar die? Yes, the Ides of March, Cruz, Detella Yella, Jabba TV, Top Hat, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. All right, Jasper, as well as you, man. All right, so if I missed anybody, I apologize. Let's get breaking into it, guys. Interesting day, fantastic news in the market, some good movements. We're going to talk about some of the big news events, but you know us here. We do like to focus on more niche things that I think are actually relevant to trading. Make sure you guys head on over to freemmo.crackingcryptocurrency.com. The link should be in the description down below after the video is uploaded. So if you're watching this at a later time, you can just click there, or you can just go to the website. Pop-up will come right up. You still have 10 days to get a chance to win 5,000 MMO. If you guys are not familiar with MMO, you guys can go check out mmopro.org or mmcoin.pro for more information on this project. All right. Let's get right into it. Let's go over here. If you guys have any news that you'd like me to comment on, there's just so much coming out today, honestly, that it's difficult to choose what to talk about. Obviously, the news on everybody's mind and tongues is CBOE, basically delisting Bitcoin futures, not officially delisting them, not saying, hey, you know what, guys, we're done with all this over here, but essentially the publicly saying that they need to take a break. The official statement is that they will be relisting them in the future. They're just taking it. It's not you. It's not you. It's me. And I just need some space. I just need some time. I think we should see other people. That's basically what CBOE is coming out and telling the Bitcoin traders. Not that dramatically affects all of us. Unfortunately, the CBOE memes will go away. But unfortunately, realistically, if you look at the volume and differential traded between CBOE and CME, we'll see what the CME does next. We'll see if the CME kind of goes in lockstep with the CBOE. They're different entities. They're run by different organizations. So we'll just see how that moves forward. Unfortunately, we've always looked at the CME chart on this stream for a little bit of kind of forward guidance. You guys have to excuse me. I got the new Keurig this morning, and I got the ketogenic coffee pods. Now, they're expensive, and I used to make my keto coffee myself, but for the convenience of everything that we got going on here over this week of moving. Let's look at CoinFarm. Obviously, the longs are being very, very aggressive right now. On BitMEX right now, we have 55% to the long side, have not reached that unsustainable level of 59 to 60% yet. However, generally, when we do see that, we tend to look for a reversal trade. Looking at the last 24 hours, we have some decent volume, not as much volume, honestly, as we saw previously when we were talking about the larger decline. When we moved down, keep in mind, we were looking at 75 million almost per moving in equilibrium. So we were talking about probably 150 million and large movements there on that particular movement. And that was just one movement, keep in mind. So the one large movement that we were looking at when Bitcoin put in that Darth Maul candle was 75 million per to the buy, about 73 million to the sell. So a total one period, 1 hour movement of 150 million contracts. When we're looking at the total volume for today, right, and we still have quite a bit of time. We still have about 6 hours for the daily candle to close. But today we're looking at about 196 million to the long, 158 million to the short. So that was pretty much what happened in 1 hour during that Darth Maul candle. So overall, not bad volume, not the best that we would like to see. That's why I'm a little. We'll get into the hesitation of kind of where I'm sitting with everything. See here. If you guys have any questions, of course, make sure to throw them in there, guys. All right, so we looked at CoinFarm.online. The longs are being very aggressive typically. So just traditionally, if you're using this data metric, if you were just using this data metric, you would look to go on the side of whatever market was more aggressive. You'd look to go on the side. You would look to go directionally with whatever side is being more aggressive. And this is for intraday short-term trading. So ideally, if you are scalping on the 5-minute to 15-minute chart, you would pursuant to this indicator typically be only looking for longs because that's the side that's more aggressive and it takes aggressive market buying to push price up. All right, going to VCDepth.io, we do have a slightly bearish order book. Listen, nothing has dramatically changed over here. Okay, so we are looking at the nearest 5% of price. Let's give that a refresh, make sure we are looking at the most relevant data, even though it always is. But I just like to give it the good old college refresh. All right, we've got the MDR creeping a little bit into the green, 2.63 positive. Listen, this isn't overly drastic. I like to see large movements in the MDR like we see down here. Anything that's more than a standard deviation. And again, by the way, guys, I want to give a big shout out to Golk. He put in a market depth ratio bot into our Discord server. So if you guys want to go see, I think this is a fantastic leading indicator to be able to trade off of based off real data metrics. It's going to monitor the API of VCDepth.io. And anytime there is a significant change in the market depth ratio of any coin listed on there, it will automatically alert you, and update the Discord channel. So guys, go check that out if you want. It is live in our Discord right now. I just put that live. We've been working on it a little bit over the last week, but we got it all finished. And I want to give a big thank you guys to Golk for designing that for us. If you guys want to show, he did that, he did that just for the community. So if you guys want to show him some support, show him some love, we got the Panda bot in the Discord server. Use the $ tip if you guys want to show him some love and throw him some crypto. Let's see. Let's go over here. We will check the bid-ask sum out real quick just to get a little bit of data metrics here. And then we're going to get into the charts, which is going to be the most important thing. But again, I just do like to look at these to see if I can see anything deterministic. Bitfinex, things are looking bearish. We do have actually the bids rising up a little bit, but unable to take the supremacy of the shorts. Let's go to BitMEX. It's kind of what I'm interested in. BitMEX, we do see the longs taking supremacy here. Almost equal though. Almost equal. Nothing dramatic. Nice spike in both the longs and the shorts, increasing open interest, which is good to see. And of course, we'll look at the good old Coinbase, which is kind of Coinbase is the one that I tend to put the most weight on, to be honest, for short-term market movement. So within 5% of price, we do see things getting pretty bullish. A lot of buying going on, and interest in selling dropping off dramatically. All right, so with that said, let's head over to the charts. Let's see what's going on, guys. Bullish engulfing candle on the 1 minute chart. We're going to the moon. Let's see here. Floyd, good to see you, man. Robert Patrick says 5 by 5 down here in Texas. Man, don't say that to me. It's terrible out here. Wester, good to see you. Bobby Crypto says, I thought they had record volume recently for futures. Beautiful World asks, do I think the SPX is above resistance now and will use it as a support? Yes. Bob Miner, good to see you as well. Crypto Sphinx says, I am shorting Bitcoin now. Bitcoin is playing with us all, says Jermaine. Jonathan Krause, what's up, man? Dude, lately it's been really difficult to make trades. Help a brother out. We're going to do the best that we can, man. Freeman's Cryptoverse, good to see you as well. All right, so let's take a look at Tether, as we always do. All right, looking at the price of Tether, we had talked yesterday about what metrics needed to be fulfilled for me to consider taking a long position, and we're going to come up on those fairly soon today. Those are going to be confirmed for us today. Now, just looking at this right now, we begin to see inklings of positive momentum, okay? Looking at the daily chart, actually, let's go to the 8-hour chart because it's going to move a little faster for us. The 8-hour chart is above the zero line on the time transformation. Actually, you know what? I updated everything. Boom. Okay, so I am going to be displaying, this isn't publicly released now. This isn't available for the members yet, but this is now time transformation 0.1.2. I've done a few aesthetic changes that were requested, but also I've done a little bit of work coding in the Heikin-Ashi trend flipping indicator. So there was an issue. Not really an issue, but there was a slight discrepancy in the opening of price. So getting it to switch as quickly as possible from bearish to bullish momentum, if you were using the Heikin-Ashi trend indicator as part of your trading strategy utilizing time transformation. So I fixed that. It's actually 1 bar more responsive now. When such metrics are met. So I'm just working out, I'm making sure that there's no bugs. I'm back testing this using the strategy tester and making sure that everything is fit, but it's looking very good. I've also thickened the lines just a little bit. I'm thinking of just minor aesthetic changes. Some people have asked me to use like labels instead of triangles, or to more clearly label things, or maybe put more overlays on the chart. I think that we're going to have a sit down and make sure. I just want the indicator. The indicator performs functionally perfectly as it's supposed to. Again, I designed it to be a manual trader's go-to reference for divergence, trend, momentum, overbought, oversold, and volume. However, if there are aesthetic changes that the members would like, make sure to always ask me. Again, working some of those things out right now. Also, we're going to have the strategy testers done for 3 different strategies that you can use for time transformation. I've got those almost all finished. I'm going to redefine them myself, and then I'll also be working with a group of beta testers to make sure that they're perfect. And those will be released mid-April. The end of April, the compassion indicator should be done, which is taking all the data metrics taking the design philosophy of time transformation and using it in the shape of basically a MACD histogram, and utilizing that to trade divergence in the Fisher price action itself. I've back tested it on XBT and ETH USD perpetual swap. It's okay. It's not as good as time transformation. But on the altcoin pairings for BitMEX, it happens to work. It works beautifully. It works very well. Very good profit ratio on that. Very good hit ratio. And again, one thing that we're going to talk about today, when we get into, once we're done with the technical analysis and once we get into trader philosophy type stuff. So one question that I received frequently, and I kind of want to address it in the stream today, is should I use, what monthly percentage rate should I be going for? When I'm back testing my strategy, what monthly percentage rate should I go for? So I'm going to address that topic, and we're going to talk on that a little bit later. All right. All right, so what has happened in the last 24 hours since we last spoke? All right, well, Bitcoin actually putting in a nice little bullish candle, guys. We rated the highs. We rated the highs previously that we were talking about up here around that 38.77 when we're going back to the when we go back to the BitMEX chart. 38.77 is the number on there. I'd say that the number that corresponds well to that level is going to be like 39.20 here on the USDT chart. Bitcoin making a nice higher high above that the previous swing of that Darth Maul candle, pulling back right now to actually retest that level as resistance. So when I'm looking at this, I still have to have, unfortunately, a somewhat fundamental bearish bias. So we'll get into that. So just keep that in mind as we move forward. Looking at our indicators here on the 8-hour chart, we do have price approaching the overbought level. Doesn't mean price has to reverse once it reaches the overbought level, of course. We don't yet have a sell signal on time transformation on the 8-hour time frame. We also do not have any strong indications at this point in time to enter into a trending trade. That indication would have actually come on the 8-hour chart on this candle right here, and you would have suffered a little bit of drawdown, probably got wicked out by that Darth Maul candle, but there's no indicator and there's no strategy that is going to be able to account for movements like a Darth Maul candle. You just can't. If you're thinking that there's some form of indicator strategy or price action strategy that's going to be able to tell you when you're going to come into candles like that, I'm sorry, that doesn't exist. Potentially, maybe you could catch those things on the 1-minute chart or the 5-minute chart potentially. But again, those movements happen in the span of about 1 to 3 minutes. So anytime, any strategy that you could design based on price action that would potentially catch that, you have to keep in mind that, okay, the times that you're going to catch a movement like that, you're going to get so many false signals utilizing a strategy like that, that by the time you actually get the signal that plays out, after you've been beaten up, like you just took like maybe 7 bad trades, maybe 2 good trades and 7 bad trades, what are the odds that you're going to go in with the proper position size and really catch that position? So we always have to be talking about opportunity costs whenever we're talking about strategies. And again, one thing, we don't do any cherry picking around here at Cracking Cryptocurrency, guys. We don't do any cherry picking. One thing that you want to be very careful of, and this is why I'm so negative about the RSI, why I'm so negative about the stochastic, why, although the MACD isn't terrible, it's not great, and all other popular common indicators like that, trend lines, for example, things of that nature. Although trend lines and obviously horizontal support and resistance play an important role, and I do use Fibonacci for certain methods, overall, I find that relying on those things, which is so basically anything that you can come into Investopedia and read is probably not going to be a good way to trade, is generally my base philosophy. The reason why is because all strategies and I've been doing this for a long time, so I've just made these mistakes and I've learned painfully, right? So I'm just trying to accelerate your learning process if you're new to trading, or if you're using a strategy right now and you think it works, but you just don't know anything better. You're going to get so many bad signals from blindly following particular strategies like that the opportunity cost becomes bad. So this is what people who will show you RSI charts will do. They'll show you a cherry pick chart on that one time frame at that one time on that one asset where the RSI just absolutely caught the top beautifully, nailed the bottom, and they're going to show their P&L, probably their ROE from their BitMEX account, and they're going to be like, man, my strategy kills it, dude. Okay, well, the problem with that is that they're not showing you the 15 bad signals that indicator just gave them. And this is the problem with the RSI. If you trade the RSI like you're supposed to trade the RSI, or that you're taught to trade the RSI in cryptocurrency, you're going to get chewed up, man. You're going to get chewed up. The RSI is a terrible indicator for cryptocurrency. It is god awful. It's probably the worst indicator that I've ever come across if you trade it. Now, that's not to say that it can't be made better, right? I personally know a few people who put a moving average on the RSI. Then it becomes slightly less god-awful, all right? It becomes somewhat usable if you put a moving average on the RSI. But the point of this is if you can polish a turd, right? You can add something onto the RSI to make it not as terrible. But all I'm saying is that the RSI was designed for equity a very, very long time ago. Maybe you should potentially, since cryptocurrency is relatively new, potentially you should be using indicators and strategies and things designed in this century for maybe the asset classes that we're trading. And all you guys got to do is go to TradingView. Listen, I have tested thousands of indicators, literally thousands of indicators and hundreds of strategies on multiple different time frames, on multiple different asset classes. And it's taken me a very long time to find the ones that I want to base my strategy on. So I would recommend, and this is a shout out to people that I get the comments like, well, indicator trading is pleb trading. Well, listen, I incorporate price action into my trading, but I don't worship at the altar of price action. I don't worship at the altar of indicators. You need a fine balance of something that can confirm your bias and can confirm your speculation on price action, and that also can give you reliable, verifiable signals. It's about if this, then that strategy, ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. Now that everybody's quiet, apparently I've either lost everybody or you're all entranced or... Zoom Coco, good to see you, man. JC says ADA. We will look at ADA. In fact, let me go to my scene editor, and I do want to start getting into this. I want to look at ADA. I want to look at probably BNB, since I had a lot of requests for that. We're going to check in on. We'll look at that CRM because we didn't look at that. We'll check back in with Tron. We'll look at Cardano. Tron, ADA, New York Stock Exchange CRM, and we don't have any reason to look at Verge, and I would like to check back in with VeChain. All right, and of course we'll look at BTC ETH and we'll look at the Spider. All right. If you guys have any requests, feel free to pop them in there, and if I can get to them, I will. Robert asks, the indicator LT Pulse, what other like this is a free version? LT Pulse. LT Pulse. Let's add that. You know what? We'll look at the LT Pulse. If we get time, we'll look at that, Robert, for you, man. Entranced, all right, great. Entranced is better than abject boredom. Guys, let me know if the volume is coming through okay, because I did make a little tweak to the microphone. So, Jesus, this keto coffee is really, really good, man. All right, anyway, so price putting in a nice bullish candle here. But when we look at, so let's be clear here. When we look back at trending indications, right, we do have on this candle right here, we do have a confirmed cross above the zero line on the Fisher transform. That would have been, this candle right here. If we look down at Wadatar, it would have told us absolutely no go. That's not a trade. We're not taking the trade. The reason why is because we're not having any indication on our volume to enter into a trending trade. Unlike if we go back to over here, as you can see on this candle right here, we would have gotten the Fisher crossing above the zero line and the Wadatar confirming that we can take the trade. All right, now I'm just showing you guys a base strategy. What I show on the stream is, I'd say, about 72% the strategy that I use in my own personal trading. There are other things that, again, I don't want to show everything to everybody because I want you guys to do the work of going out and finding what strategies and what tools are going to fit yourself, all right? If I just spoon feed you guys everything, then you're probably not going to make as much money as you could if you took the time, patience, and discipline to go out and find the indicators that work best for you and the strategy that works best for you. Anyways, so entry on that candle would have set you up for a very nice 2.53% profit. Again, very difficult to find anything that's going to get you to handle indications like this. So let's just get back into it. So no indication to go long. In fact, typically you would be looking to be short in this particular market right here. We do have a little bit of volume divergence on the 8 hour, not putting as much impressive 8 hour volume on the current candle that we have. And obviously we are struggling fairly valiantly against a large sell wall. Now, I'm of the personal opinion that there is a high probability that that does actually get pulled and that we do make another raid of that 3930, 3970 area. So let's actually go down to the BitMEX chart. And we'll see that really not a whole lot has changed. So we were talking about yesterday, we were talking about the grab for liquidity. So as you remember, yesterday we spoke about this was to be predicted. Why? Because you have created a zone where you are likely to get a stop loss hunt or a raid of previous highs. You've put in 3 equal highs, meaning that anybody attempting to go short here, retail traders, are logically going to be placing their stop losses above this area. We get this nice Darth Maul candle to the upside. No, excuse me. We get this nice wick to the upside, which is to be expected. A stop loss hunt is to be expected when you're moving in consolidation and you've created a zone, you've created a target for retail traders to place their stop loss at, and for institutional order flow to look at that area and be like, we gonna get filled up there today, boys. Oh yeah. Well, the only difference is that the bottom of that candle was a little bit unexpected in my analysis, and we talked about that yesterday. How the fact that the raid to the upside was to be expected, but the large movement to the downside was not really. That's kind of an aberration, or it's just something that we have to adjust for the market cycle. Now, as I spoke about yesterday, if price were to reclaim 38.77, I would begin to feel fairly bullish. And and there is an aspect of me that is beginning to feel fairly bullish. Unfortunately, I guess not really unfortunately, I still have a lot personally to go on with the trading. So I woke up this morning, I updated my positions. All my altcoin positions are looking really good. I opened up a new one this morning. Again, the subscribers in the members lounge are aware of that one. I put in a trade, and again actually took 2 other BitMEX trades. Do not have a position on Bitcoin on XBT USD myself, but here's what I'd be looking for. The reason why is because I'm comfortable with the other trades, the areas where they're at. I can manage that effectively with the fact that I'm going to still be busy today and the next 2 days over the weekend getting everything done with the moving, meaning I'm going to be away from my computer, and I prefer to trade actively without hard stops so that I can actually monitor the markets. So it's going to be a little bit of a pain doing all this mobilely, but it's okay. This is the life we've signed up for, and I don't feel that I'm going to miss a massive movement. Again, I've told you guys that's the wrong way to think about things. The right way to think about things is to develop a strategy. Because I'll tell you what. Let's assume that price drops down to 3,000, or that price shoots up to 4,400 in the next 5 minutes. Okay, A, probably unlikely. B, there's going to be another trade after that. So, anyways. Roll up here. Sorry, there was a lot of comments that I missed. WRN Oh, we're in okay. Hey man, is ADA a reverse head and shoulders? So an inverted head and shoulders. We're gonna look at that. OMG USDT. We get time, man. Throw that down there. ZERP used. We get some chance, man. Are we gonna look at ETH? Of course we are. I only use the RSI for spotting divergence in higher time frames, which works well for me. Can you please check ZERP used? Nice. Hey, good day, man. Just checked in. How are you? Good to see you, XFAX. ONT, por favor. If we get a chance, we'll check out ONT. Still looks good. Dima wants us to check out SPGI. And I don't know if I can get to all these. We're starting. The schedule start. In fact, I'm not going to be able to add anything now. It's starting to get a little crazy now. In fact, move that schedule. Move it on over. DWLO stock gold platinum. Here, let me throw those down here. What's in keto coffee? It's going to be it's organic coffee, it's grass-fed butter, medium chain triglycerides, and Himalayan salt. Yeah, you know what? I hope I fixed that. I thought I fixed that buzzing by plugging it into the area. It's probably just because my mic is now closer to my computer. Jonathan Krause says, I'm still trying to figure out what a security secures. The banks, man. Andrew Adams, I'm worse than CNN. I'll take that, man. I'll take that. Okay. So if 38.77, so here's my personal take on this. If the 8-hour closes above 38.77, I would potentially be comfortable with taking a long position. I'm not going to take one myself. I'm not going to take a long position on XBT USD. I'm not really interested in playing this particular level of volatility because there's just too much uncertainty. There are areas on the chart where I feel comfortable entering into a long and where I feel comfortable entering into a short. The area where I feel comfortable entering into a short on the BitMEX chart is, again, that zone between 39.30 and 39.70. If price reclaims 39.70 as support, then I feel very comfortable longing it up to 4,200 and 4,250. Now, there is a more aggressive entry right now. If the 8-hour candle closes above 38.77, there is a potential aggressive entry into a BitMEX long, or excuse me, into an XBT long to come up here and retest this previous zone of liquidity from 39.30 to 39.70. So I don't fault you if you take that trade. Again, that is a properly correct technical setup, man. Zuhair Nakfi says the 5th green weekly Heikinashi. It's the first time since 2017. Let's take a look. Heikinashi. And let's look at the big picture. One, two, three, four, five. Not bad. Not bad, man. So it's the first time since 2017. Let's go back and look. We had a nice 6 count there, nice 9 count there, nice 7 count there. Then, of course, we completed a 9 count to the upside and reversed on the 3. What was the volume doing at that time? Nice steady rising volume, which doesn't surprise me. That was the bull run. What's happening during this one? Interesting. That would be a weekly long since 37.88. Which would have not given you the best position at this point in time. But 36.48 weekly long since 36.48 on the Japanese candlestick. So a little bit of a better entry. Ron Legato, thanks so much for the $10, man. I highly appreciate that, man. Bound by Hatred asks, or says, Himalayan salt worked great in smoothies for me, but the crystals it forms in the eye while sleeping are brutal. Well, this is my first day on the Himalayan salt, so hopefully I don't have any of that, man. I had trouble waking up today, though. Is there any short-term bearish right now? That's great to hear, Reality. Thank you so much for sharing with the audience. Thank you so much for sharing with the crowd. Let's see here. Yeah. So the other way to look at this would be to counter trade this. The only problem is if you were looking to enter into a short from this area, the only thing that you have going on for you is lower time frame price action. You don't have any significant raids of previous highs on higher time frames. You don't have any indications that are going to give you a sell signal, most likely on the higher time frames, which is ideally what we want to help qualify our entries. You don't have any significant signs to say that I want to short this, except for the fact that I'm bearish on Bitcoin and all rallies are opportunities for shorting. Now, that's not bad to have as a bias, because in a bear market, typically all rallies are for the purposes of shorting. However, I don't see any strong indications to be entering into a short now, regardless of whether that pans out to be the correct trade. I don't see any strong indications of that. There are two levels on the chart that I would be interested in a pullback to. That would be that if we do have a nice pullback where a wick back down to 38.77 and still close the 8-hour candle above 38.77, I'd be interested in that. The other area that we could technically pull back to and still be bullish is going to be around 38.60, 38.50. If we pull back to that area, which is the previous breakout zone, hold that level as support. Although typically, classically and correctly, once you pull back down and test support, you do have to close and then open and close, or excuse me. So let's say this happens. Let's say we put in a candle like this. Okay. Put in a candle like this. We put in a candle like this. And retest resistance. We have a high of this candle right here in this example that I've drawn at 38.70. So if we pull back down to the area of breakout, stop there, meaning there's a buy wall there, or aggressive buying. Once price trades above the high of that test candle, so right here, then you can enter. That's the correct technical way to do it, or at least the way that I like to do it when I'm pulling back to support. And that's if I feel speculative, because I do feel speculative. So again, still two areas on the chart. You can aggressively enter long if the 8-hour candle opens and closes above 38.77. I feel comfortable with that. Not the position I'm going to be taking. I'm still going to be waiting for price to either reject from 39.70, 39.30, or looking for that open and close above 39.70 and having that area reclaimed as support. And just as I showed you in this example right here for what price needs to do off this example for 39.50, that's exactly what price needs to do at 39.70. Price needs to say it closes above. It either needs to close above and then continue moving higher, in which case I'll go momentum. But if it closes above and then pulls back and tests, it needs to hang out, and then it needs to trade above the high of the candle that tests support. That's a confirmed SR flip. All right, you have to break, pull back, and confirm, or excuse me, break, pull back, and continue. What would the weekly Heikinashi trend be indicative of? Well, it's just confirming. It would be telling you. It would be telling you that the average of price over the last 5 weeks is bullish, which is correct, but maybe has not given you the best trade setups, because I don't think that a buy and hold over the last 5 weeks has been your best bet. I don't really think we're in the market cycle where buy and hold is going to be your best bet, because we don't have confirmed breakout. I mean, overall, guys, listen. I know that this is crypto, and we're excited, and there's a lot of stuff on the table, and nothing would make me happier than to break out and start going on a bullish run, guys. But if we make things very simple here, for example, so let's just take this off right here. If we make things very simple, we're still just in a range bound market, guys, between 3,000 and 4,000. We haven't had any confirmed breakouts, and everything in the middle is overall just speculation, guys. And that is what it is. That is what it is. Now we're getting close to resistance. We have a high probability to be rejected again. We have a small probability to break to the upside. If we break to the upside, we've talked about our upside targets. 42.50 would be the first stop. That's where I'd be reducing risk. The second area, until we get, unless I were to get bearish indications that the trend is reversing for reals, would be 4,500, 4,600. And if you have a higher risk tolerance and you want to be more of a swing trader, then you would have already gotten indications to be in a swing position, for example. You know? So that's about it, man. That's about it for Bitcoin. Interesting stuff to talk about. Now, we had a question. Yeah, I want to go back. Himalayan crystal salt has natural iodine in it. Very good for you. BCH led the pump and had the best one. Did situation change on ETH long shorts? No. Thank you for asking that, because that's what I want to go to next. So let's go take a look at Ethereum. Let's go take a look at Mr. Ethereum. So here's the ETH USD chart. Nothing's really changed on this bad boy either. Again, we kind of had a similar situation. We have not yet rated the lows, or excuse me, rated the highs up here. So the correct setup still in my position, still in my eyes, is one of two things. And this is USDT, so prices change a little bit when we go down to MEX, but I just want you guys to notice the same thing. Look at the highs that we have here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This entire zone right here, a little bit above $140. This area has not been tested to clear out liquidity. I would be very, very, very confident in taking a short position, if you were being aggressive, as I am kind of aggressive, if you were targeting this zone below here, I would not have a hard stop loss at 140. I would wait to see what happens as price evolves above 140, because most likely what we are going to see is price shoot up, test liquidity. It could go higher, pretty higher on a wick actually, but I don't expect it to close above 140. If it closes above 140, we have a different situation and the trade has been invalidated. But this is a beautiful setup for a liquidity grab and a counter trade, especially when we go look at the main indicator that I'm looking at here. And actually, quite interestingly, I just checked this. I've been looking at this chart right here. Hasn't left my screen. This is the ETHUSD longs versus shorts. 4.46 longs to shorts. All right, we have the longest period of time that longs to shorts have been above 3-to-1. So this is going on 10 days now, and we now have a fresh daily sell signal from time transformation. I want to make sure that, yes, okay, I do have all the good stuff on there. Fresh 24-hour sell signal from time transformation on the longs to shorts ratios, which is bearish. And also, finally, on today, Wadatar is now below the explosion level as well. So declining bullish volume, fresh 24-hour sell signal, that is classically that's a sign to short the market. Especially when we combine that with price action over here, and we see that confluent to price action, we actually do have a beautiful shorting opportunity right here for a liquidity run to the upside. All right, now we also, and again, we've talked about this for a while here, looking at Ethereum, the same area that we actually tapped for Bitcoin. So when we go back and we were talking about trapped buyers, when we had aggressive initiation right here in this zone right here, although we tapped that area as I talked about and rejected, we never tapped that area on Ethereum, okay? On Ethereum. So should this setup not play out, the next area of interest does become that area between 146 to 148. And quite similarly with Bitcoin, although I highly think it's not impossible, okay? It's not impossible for a rally to happen with longs to shorts like this. But it comes down to less than 25% probable, okay? Meaning that the odds are stacked, for me, looking to short the market, are stacked 75% to my favor just with Ethereum. Okay, now something crazy can happen and we can have an influx of new buyers, right? That is a potential. But as it sits right now, having the longs to shorts ratios be 4.46 to 1 and the longest stretch of time that we've had the longs to shorts ratios above 3.0, again, the longest time that we've ever had longs to shorts above 3-to-1, so 3 longs for every 1 short, was back in November. All right. Now that only happened once. It's one historical snapshot. So it is not in and of itself statistically relevant. I do want to point that out and keep that in perspective. But all the other times that the longs to shorts have become greater than 3-to-1, the market has reversed. The market has reversed significantly. Now that's not to say that they haven't gone significantly higher, but we're looking at statics of time. Okay. So over here, never got above 3-to-1, didn't get above 3-to-1 here. Got above 3-to-1 here, lasted for about a day before immediately declining. Got above 3-to-1 here on a very nice pump, 1, 2, 3, and then all the way down. Over here, we hit the top. We put in this very bearish, kind of ascending, kind of weak liquidity grab movement right here, as you can see. So nice pump up and then very slow ascending, slow candles right there. And then a big expansion of price as we just touched the high. So again, anybody that says you can't do technical analysis on sentiment data, that's exactly what they're doing with the price action candle bars. Doesn't matter if that just doesn't matter. So yes. So when I see things like this, I feel very confident about looking for opportunities to look for a short. Now, again, it's all about timing the market to capture these movements. So we would have to see a significant influx of new buyers in to change the situation. All right. So in my eyes, this is a beautiful zone to look. If you want to try and capture a wick, if you just want a beautiful trade, something that you'd show your buddies at work, this is the area to put limit orders in for a short. Or alternatively, because we're not sure price would make it up that high, again, you have this nice zone right here to target as well. And again, setting a hard stop loss at this area right here is going to be suicide. You are going to have to actively manage this position. So if you're unsure about it, again, this is not a recommendation to enter into position. I'm just telling you guys what I see when I look at the markets. Should this area fail, then the next area of interest does become 146 to 148 with kind of the same metrics for Bitcoin. Now, the reason that I can be bullish on Bitcoin and bearish on Ethereum, although, again, they have moved in lockstep simultaneously for the majority of the lifespan. If we go over and look at BTC USD longs, the sentiment situation is completely different. And we've been looking all year for, have they decoupled? Is Ripple decoupled from Bitcoin? When are the altcoins going to decouple from Bitcoin? When is Daddy Bitcoin going to stop moving the market? Well, seeing the divergence in sentiment on Ethereum and Bitcoin, if there was ever an opportunity for there to be a significant decoupling of price, now would be the time, or a situation like this would be congruent to that. So longs to shorts on Ethereum being stacked 4-to-1. So unless Ethereum just gets hammered, right, and just carves out all the longs, right, and price pulls back down to equilibrium, right, then I could potentially see Bitcoin maybe even possibly pumping and Ethereum just going down the tubes, especially not to say that that's going to happen, but especially with the information that I talked about yesterday. Or 2 days ago, I believe it was now. Enjoy. I don't want no stinking Bitcoin trash. Andreas Dihan. Hey, I don't make any negative comments about anybody else out here. Sometimes, listen, as a trader, sometimes I know, here's what I know. I know that I have a profitable strategy. All right. I'm very comfortable taking trades. Sometimes I have very good weeks. Like the month of March has been fantastic for us, especially for myself and for the traders in the premium group. It's been a really good month for us. In fact, the last 5 months have been absolutely fantastic, and we didn't do bad in 2017. We did pretty well in 2017. Again, I published my trade journal, and although this is not, to be quite honest, right, I've been trading for a long time, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm always right or that I have a crystal ball, but have not closed a month in the red in 2017. We've been doing this since September of 2017. We've been doing the trading group. I've never closed a month in the red. There were a few months where we didn't close significantly in the green, but we never closed in the red. And overall, very good results. You guys can go see those. Those are publicly available. Just search our Twitter. They're in our Discord. They're pretty easy to find. Which again, but sometimes listen, there's on an individual trade, I'm sure that there's some like let's say Ethereum right now. Like let's say I'm like, yeah guys, look, Ethereum looks like a fantastic shorting opportunity, right? Oh, and then price just blasts past and goes to like 200. Okay, whatever. And maybe somebody on some other channel was like, guys, this is the chance to go long on Ethereum. Fuck that dude, Justin doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, that can happen, right? There are going to be individual trades where I just get completely hosed on. The point is that risk management allows me to diversify my trades so that one individual trade can't significantly negatively affect my balance, right? So again, I look for my winners to cover for my losses, and that's how I've done things for a long time. But anyways, when we're talking about Ethereum, I feel pretty damn confident about this. I mean, just look at this area right here, right? This is the BitMEX chart. Again, just look at this area. Look at this area here. Oh man, dude. So hopefully that'll strengthen the case. All right. So listen. So we've got this zone. So we were just talking about. So let's correlate that over to ETH. We've got this zone right here. Okay, and this is why the area here on BitMEX, so this is 142 to 143. This is why this zone interests me, okay? Because we see the exact same thing. So when we're correlating what we were just talking about over here on USDT price, when we correlate this to BitMEX's price, all right? Look, we have this zone right here that we're coming up and touching right now, all right? That is going to act as significant resistance. Now, we have the same opportunity right here, all right? So when we look at this zone right here, all right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equidistant highs really that have not been significantly rated. You could potentially look at this as a rate of this consolidation high, but being as the fact that we pulled right back to that area on that Darth Maul candle, we know that there's a lot of liquidity right here at 137, right here in this zone, okay? So we see the same potential opportunity right here. So coming up to about that 140 area, this is the first area where you could potentially get a very, very attractive liquidity grab trade. The other area, however, still remains 142 to 143, because if you take a broader picture, of this consolidation period right here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 if you want to count this over here. But anyways, this whole range right here, this whole range right here, okay? This range has acted as resistance for Ethereum. Again, we have to have we're beginning with a bearish fundamental bias because of that longs to shorts ratio, okay? This is the BTC, but again, just rewind if you guys want to get another picture of that. It's very easy to see ETH USD longs divided by ETH USD shorts, okay? Anyways, if we see a violent wick up to here to 142 to 143, basically clearing all the liquidity out of this position. Because again, on a broader time frame and a wider lens, anybody looking to go short in this market would ideally have their stop loss placed up here above the entire trading, which is smart. But not that smart, because if we're talking about a fundamentally shifting movement in the market, so when we're talking about candles like this or big movements like this, this is the area where that's going to get kicked off. And this is the area why, if price is able to reclaim that area as support, then technically we look for a very, very bullish trade to the upside. Now, it's very difficult for me to say that with confidence. It's very difficult for me to say that with confidence, having the longs to shorts ratios what it is, to be quite honest. When I look at something like Bitcoin, it's very easy for me to say with confidence. Again, let's go over here and look at the longs to shorts ratios. See them about flat, guys. You know, about one long for every one short, okay? And steadily dropping. Let's see here. We got, we're looking at the daily chart here. Let's make sure that these settings are correct here. Okay. All right, so overall, the sentiment for the longs to shorts ratios is bearish, meaning this is a reflection of the overall market. So if the longs to shorts ratios is typically bearish, we're typically bearish on the market in general. Why? Because it means. But overall, let's be a little bit more nuanced in this. Let's actually go look at the longs and the shorts. Okay, so here's BTC USD longs. All right. BTC USD longs on the daily time frame, and we are getting two concurrent buy signals telling us that we should be longing the market, meaning that longs are oversold, undervalued. As we can see right here, we had falling decline on this recent movement downwards, meaning that the downward sell pressure is ending. Doesn't mean we've reached that level of consolidation. And historically, whenever we do get down actually below this ratio right here, we typically do well. Here's the shorts. All right. And we see the same thing. Shorts are rising as the longs are attempting to rise. Now the shorts do have an earlier version of it here. But anybody, I think it's unfortunate. It's not correct to look at this, because I've seen this. Some people have shown me some charts, and I just want to point out that they're not correct. So typically when shorts do get very, very low in this range down here, yes, we typically do see a crash of the Bitcoin market. Right, correct. But every other time that we've come down here, longs have been very high. When longs are very high and shorts are very low, and you reach those critical turning levels of sentiment, then yes, you do look for a significant market reversal. But Bitcoin is flat, dude. Bitcoin's flat. That's why I'm not coming on the stream and saying, again, yeah, sorry about the clickbait title. That was suggested by a member. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I think for the shows, for you guys who are subscribers, I'm going to let you guys choose the title of the show. So I think that's just a cool community feedback, unless there's like some important news thing. But yes, it's a YouTube channel. We would like to get this attention in front of the most eyeballs as humanly possible. And if clickbait titles work with human psychology, we'll continue to do that. Thank you very much. CNN does do one thing right. But yeah, so that's why I'm kind of focusing on the potential for an Ethereum short as a technical trader. And again, that's what I've also expressed to the members as well, rather than a Bitcoin short. Because, you know, honestly, Bitcoin could go either way. You know, with the longs to shorts ratios being what it is, you know, shorts are on the rise, longs are on the rise. They're about flat, not overly impressive. Like, it's at resistance. I don't really feel like longing resistance. If it pulls back to a significant level and holds it, fuck it, let's go. But as you guys know, I typically trade the Ethereum USDT pair, the Ethereum USD pair on MEX rather than rather than XBT. It's much cleaner, moves more smoothly. It's my go-to to trade. It's my go-to to trade. It's my favorite pair to trade on any contract, on any exchange, just hands down. Period. Okay, so we've talked about BTC, we've looked at Ethereum, we've looked at the potential setups for Ethereum, we looked at the fundamentals. Let's go look at SPY. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to look at all the requests, guys. We had a lot of shitcoins to look at today. And overall, altcoin season 2.0 continues to go on pretty much unabated. Yeah, we're having some small dumps, but overall everything is right back up to pumping well. And here we go, man. Here we go. We're going to go take a look at the spider. All right. So exactly what we talked about yesterday. Now, listen, I'm still on record saying that I would prefer to see a pullback to 2600s for rocket fuel to move to the upside. But again, the greater the pullback that you get, the higher you're going to be able to go. And here we are, we're coming right above resistance. Now, here's what needs to happen. Let's go to the 24-hour time frame of the SPY. Here's what needs to happen. Again, I pointed this out. We need to come up, close above. We need to have a break pullback continuation, meaning that whatever candle, let's zoom in here on SPX here real quick. Whatever the high of this candle is, or wherever this baby closes at, right? It needs to pull back, test, and hold resistance, previous resistance, new support. And then it needs to trade above the high of this candle before we can have confirmation to enter into a bullish trade on SPX, okay? How did that just happen? I've been looking for that button. Been looking for that button and it just randomly popped up? Dear Lord. I don't even know what I pressed. Ha! All right. Sorry, let me get with the chat here real quick. Garab, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Talk about Bitcoin Cash, man. Not a whole lot to talk about. We've traded it, man. I'm trade agnostic, man. Fundamentally, I think it is, terrible. Stefan Nordheim, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork, a separate coin. The Ethereum fork was also a hard fork, but just an upgrade. It did not create a new coin, correct. Litecoin is the right coin. So is Litecoin. Remember, Bitcoin Lite. If I was long Bitcoin from 3830, would I get out here and look for shorts in the 3930 range instead? Just want to know what you would do personally. Without giving a direct recommendation to trade, here's what I do. No, probably not, man. Probably not. If I was, depends on how you feel about it. Let's go down and look at the lower time frames for this trade. If I was long from 3830, I think you have a beautiful entry position. Okay. I don't know what your, so you probably got in somewhere around this candle, right? So not a bad entry position. Now, you need to have a level, so you're long from 3830. Okay, so you have about 1.6. I generally, okay, so generally on the 3-hour time frame, I'm looking for 1 to 1.5% profit. Okay, on the 8-hour time frame, I'm looking for a minimum of 3. So what I would do in this situation is, this is an area of the chart where I would take 30 to 50% of my profit off the table, and I would move my stop loss to break even. Allow your trade to evolve, because at this point, if you take profit, never just jump out of a position unless you get a super strong bearish indication. You don't have a very strong bearish indication yet, except again, just as I talked about earlier, like the only reason to be entering into a short on Bitcoin at this price is price is bearish, man. Short all rallies. There's no high that's been rated. There's no significant resistance that we're coming up to. There's no bearish indications. I mean, everything does not look too bad for Bitcoin right now, to be honest with you. So if you're shorting Bitcoin at this level, I don't think that you're correct. If you're in a long right now, I would take some profit off the table, because we're kind of uncertain on the evolution of Bitcoin's future price. Take some profit off the table, move your stop loss to break even, and see what price does around that 3880, 3887 level. If it pulls back down all the way to your entry, well, I wouldn't let it close below 3860. If it closes below 3860, then go ahead and exit your position. But yeah, like don't just jump out because you're uncertain. Like, take some profit off the table, because once you do that, bro, you've had a successful trade. If you take 50% of your profit off the table and set your stop loss at break even, you have had a winning trade. And if it runs up another 30%, you're going to be able to take advantage of that. If it comes down to your entry position and you get stopped out at break even, you still had a successful trade because you took profit. Always do that. You always need to have a level on the chart at which, and this is just my personal strategy, when price on the 8-hour time frame or the daily time frame reaches 1 ATR for my entry, I take 50% profit and I update my stop loss to break even. Now, if the coin wants to go on a moonshot, fantastic. I'm going to take advantage of that. If price pulls back down to my entry, I've had a profitable trade. Always, 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 always lock in profits. And when price reaches a ludicrous level of price, like on these altcoins that shoot up 80%, trailing stop losses. Trailing stop losses. Zerp, we'll get to that, man. I promise. Okay, so this is so I will address this because this is a fundamental question, so this is good. So Colin Tall, Andres Dihan, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. I saw your comment, and yes, I know you weren't calling me Kirby. Yes, I know who Kirby is. I never talked to him. I've never watched his show. I watched his show twice because somebody told me to. Again, I don't have anything negative or positive to say about the individual. But yes, I get the joke, man. You're cool. We're good, man. Let's see here. What was I gonna say? So Bitcoin Cash, for those of you who are unaware, I think most of you probably are, but that's fine if you're not. Bitcoin Cash was a fork of Bitcoin. This happened back in 2017 right around consensus. And the debate was big blocks versus small blocks, right? So it's an issue. It's a disagreement in scale. Okay. So there was a large controversy over the SegWit update. Most of the largest exchanges have now updated the SegWit, which is a BIP protocol, so Bitcoin Improvement Protocol. It's a BIP implementation of a new Betch form of. And again, I'm not a programmer, so if I misspeak words or use the wrong terminology, I apologize. But it's Betch 32, as far as I'm aware, the different new SegWit wallets. But that's not all that SegWit does. Segregated Witnesses also was an update to the Bitcoin network, which basically took. How do I put this? It basically took a portion of the code for a transaction, for a send or receive. And I'm going to say this stupidly, and I'm gonna explain this terribly because I didn't write the code. I understand what it does, but not in the most fundamental way. Okay, so the SegWit update was designed to reduce the bloat of a transaction, right? So that was one method of dealing with transactions, right? Of reducing the congestion on the blockchain. Is let's make transactions smaller. Okay, let's make transactions smaller and take out unnecessary data, or basically prune unnecessary data, right? Whereas the Bitcoin Cash individuals say, or the people that supported Bitcoin Cash and then obviously went and forked the Bitcoin network into Bitcoin Cash, they said, no, that's not the solution. We're not going to reduce data. We're just going to make the blocks bigger, man. We're just going to make them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is what Satoshi Nakamoto wanted. Well, I tend to be on the side of the Bitcoin developers, the Bitcoin development unit, and they are the ones that rallied fairly hard for SegWit. And again, they've done a fantastic job with Bitcoin over the last 10 years. And again, the nice thing about this is that you don't have to put faith in a centralized institution or a centralized system. If we feel that the Bitcoin developers, the Bitcoin developer team, and there's multiple sides of this pool, if they do something that we don't agree with, any individual can fork the network if they want. It's just if you get individuals to join you. Now, the problem with Bitcoin Cash, and this is what I firmly believe, is that the problem with big blocks is that they introduce inherent security flaws. They introduce inherent security flaws to the network, right? Big blocks is an inelegant solution to a problem that I think SegWit and the Lightning Network is a more elegant solution to. That's my personal opinion. You're free to disagree with me, but I do support SegWit. I do support the Lightning Network because they are more. Because to be quite honest with you, I'm friends. Some of the smartest people that I know write blockchain projects, are security experts, work in computer science, and so they understand stuff that I don't. I know how to trade. Like you give me a chart and you give me a chart and an order book, and I'll slaughter. You try to put me in front of a Python script, and I turn into an idiot, right? Now I can write Pine, right? And that's been a pain in the butt because, of course, I write indicators now. But that's been cool, and I've had a lot of help with some of the with the syntax, right? I struggle with the syntax sometimes. So I know what I want it to do. Sometimes I struggle with getting the syntax right. But I've actually grown leaps and bounds because I've been working on this Pine stuff for like 2 years now. So finally I'm now at the point where I can start writing indicators to do what I want them to do. But again, teamwork makes the dream work, man. And I just trust their guidance, man. If you want to be successful in life, you can't be an expert at everything. You have to specialize in what you want to be really good at, become the best that you possibly can at that, and then surround yourself with really, really, really smart and talented and gifted individuals who challenge you and push you and are better at stuff that you suck at, right? So when it comes to security experts, or when it comes to computer problems, I got a guy for that. When it comes to, cybersecurity, I got a guy for that, and we're friends, right? And if I have an issue, I call him up and I'm like, hey man, can you please explain this to me? So some of the smartest people that I know, I ask them this question. I'm like, hey, Bitcoin Cash versus versus Bitcoin, yay or nay? And they're like, Bitcoin Cash is garbage. It's full of security flaws. And then on top of that, so they can answer those questions for me. But the other things as well is like, look at Bitmain, look at Calvin Ayre, look at all the people, look at fake Toshi, look at all these people, look at all the people that are in the community that are on the side of Bitcoin Cash, SV or ABC. They have not represented the Bitcoin community very well, right? Again, as opposed to individuals who are Bitcoin developers, like look at Jameson Lopp, look at Luke Dash Jr., look at people like that. So now that I've gone on another rant, sorry guys. Is sentiment like a guess at trends? So sentiment can refer to a lot of things. Sentiment just refers to what are the thoughts and opinions of the traders and what are they likely to do. So longs to shorts is sentiment data. Social media sentiment, when you go to like StockTwits or Pipster, things like that, you can see the general sentiment. Like there's algorithms that scan for Twitter posts and things like that. Like are more Twitter posts bullish on Bitcoin, or more Twitter posts bearish on Bitcoin? This is what StockTwits does, for example. Ash Badger says, yes, I was clickbaited. Thank you very much. All right. Let me, there's a lot of chat, man, to get through. I apologize. If longs are that much higher, wouldn't the move down grab the liquidity? Why is it moving up now? I'm a little confused. Well, listen, just because, so longs to shorts ratios gives us a general directional bias. We still have to use technical analysis to figure out exactly where price might go. But yes, a move down would capture that liquidity. So broadly speaking, we're looking for a very, very violent move down. Doesn't mean that price can't pump up and capture more or trap more buyers to the downside. It just gives us a general overall outlook of what we should be looking for, in my humble opinion. So yeah, still coming back to the spider, still neutral on SPX because again, this could be a classic liquidity grab right here. All we've done is we've entered a critical zone to watch for, right? This is either a breakdown or a liquidity grab rejection, right? So I'm going to need to see a few daily candles close. All right, if we close above this level, if we have a BPC, so break, pullback, or continuation, and we trade above the close of wherever this candle closes out on the daily chart, then yeah, then it's okay. Then you can take your lots long. For right now, I think the safest move is taking a risky short, actually, and trying to counter trade this. What'd I break, man? What'd I break, Jasper? Peter, I got that TWLO stock and gold and platinum hit. Any thoughts on Ethereum Classic? Here's the thing. I used to really like Ethereum Classic. I have friends that worked on Callisto. I have friends that were ETC developers or part of the Commonwealth community. I disagree with what they did with the original fork, with the DAO hack and everything. I do think that code is law. But I don't know, man. We'll see. As it is right now, like it's kind of one of those funny things that you're trading because there's very little development going on. So, what do I think about the argument that Bitcoin is a greater fool market, that doesn't matter trading short-term, but long-term Bitcoin is only worth what a greater fool is willing to pay? I guess I'm not familiar with that argument. I think that if I'm understanding you correctly, I think that more properly is going to correspond to fiat. Bcash is the athletic bro of BTC. You black book. What's a good exchange for shorting and stop limits? BitMEX, man. BitMEX it is. All right, so we've talked about all the majors. We've talked about where we're likely to go. We glanced at the spider. All right, so let's boom. Let's mock that off. We got a lot to go through, guys, and it is 1:14, so we got 45 minutes left in the show. A lot to get through. So I'm going to take a brief break and make a quick Keurig cup of coffee, and when we get back, we're going to start off with Vetron. Cardano, we're going to look at that CRM. We're going to take a brief glance at the LT Pulse indicator if we get a chance. OMG USDT, ZERP USD, ONT, and what is that? Spiegel? SPG something? I guess that's a stock. Yeah. Spiegel. Spagai. 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 All right. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. While I'm gone, man, take that opportunity and head on over to freemmo.crackencryptocurrency.com, guys. Get your opportunity to get some free MMO coin. Giving away 25,000 MMO coin. Doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is register, or you don't even have to register a new account. You just log in. If you got a Discord login, Facebook login, it's all good, man. Retweet a few tweets, like a few Facebook posts. It's all good, man. Support the community, and we'll do our best to get you guys supported, man. So I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Wrong button. Wrong end. All right. Back on over here to Bitcoin real quick. Thanks, guys, for hanging in with me. I also want to give a shout out, guys. I want to give a shout out to, hold on, let it load for me. Sorry. Let's see. We got Don Patrick, Arnold Post, Real Steiner, TIED, Stefan Nordheim, Groove Kyra, excuse me, and Andres Dihan, subs on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. Welcome to the community. Very happy to be talking with you guys. And of course, thank you again, Zuhair and Ron Legato, for your generous donations. Thank you so much. I don't think that I have. I should. Sorry. So let me get stream labels running. Don't have stream labels because that's how I can interact with Twitch while I'm streaming. Allow that to load for me here real quick, guys. Oh yeah. Got that keto coffee, guys. TIED says they banned me, not sure why. Probably because you're from a state or from a country that does not, that BitMEX does not allow. Anne Marie Rennie says, going to sound a bit daft now. No, not at all, hon. Why is a shitcoin a shitcoin? I don't get it. Is it because they aren't worth much or aren't going anywhere but the toilet? Can somebody explain, pretty please? It's typically the latter. Typically, we refer to shitcoins as shitcoins, not only because of their low market cap relevant to the majors, but generally coming from a bias that most of them don't solve real world problems and are a little bit more than speculative. But it doesn't mean that doesn't mean that they're not tradable, man. But again, I come from the bias of being a Bitcoin investor and a trader of any and all other things. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Back over to Bitcoin, running into some resistance right here at the previous high. A little bit of selling pressure we're running into. And again, there was that wall on the good old B Mexico. Still not a significant area that I would want to necessarily be putting on a short. Not getting a lot of aggressive pullback from this zone yet. Let's go down to the lower time frames. Yeah. Doing a nice little symmetrical consolidation on the 15-minute chart. We'll see if this has some follow through. The hourly, getting some sell signals in the hourly from time transformation doesn't surprise me. But bullish volume is still nice, so I haven't gotten a sell signal yet. Although time transformation on the 3-hour, which is where I do most of my trading, is telling us to be on the lookout for a sell signal. So potentially could be a potential rejection from here, but. Ooh, good post in the members lounge there, Reyes. CZ Binance, OCO is planned. Yeah, maybe one of these days. Geez, then we won't have to use things like third-party applications to trade on your godforsaken platform. All we want is your volume, Binance. Let's check out. Sorry, let's get into the schedule, guys. Caleb, thanks so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Do I got stream labels running yet? Uh-oh. Something's weird where I can't... Scott, I can't remember what that command was, to click and drag something and then... Oh well, anyways. It's coming up somewhere, but not on my screen. Let's go to the editor and start with the requests, man. So we've got VeChain up first. We'll look at VeChain. Sorry, adjusted here. All right, here's VeChain on the daily. Let's go down to the 8-hour. Doesn't look too bad, man. Doesn't look too bad. Not too bad. All right, broke above that initiation level that we were talking about. Broke above the initiation level, pulled up here to take profit targets, pulled back, held the first one as support, popped back up. Hasn't made a higher high yet, so this is definitely a situation where you do want to be a little cautious, but it is attempting. It's trying to give the good old college try of establishing this second level as support. Now, if that second level gets established as support, then we probably will push higher up here to 147, maybe even 158. Let's take a look here. And of course, take profit 1, 50% of profits are off the table. So if this thing ends up going down here below 130 and closing, I definitely want to be out of this position at the meantime and look for a more serious pullback. Potentially the pullback to 124. Doesn't invalidate a bullish trade if we do come all the way back down. Just means we the healthier the pullback means you can have a more sustained movement to the upside. But I would not count VeChain out right now. Does not look too bad. See what's going on over here. 8 hour. What Atar still telling us that price is above the explosion level. Good to go. 8 hour time transformation is giving us a fresh continuation cross on the previous candle right here. So not bad, not bad. Again, continuation crosses are some of the strongest trades, some of the best trades that I've ever taken in my life. Meaning that price, so in this example, meaning that the fissure is already above the zero line and it's giving me a fresh cross up to the upside. All right, meaning that we're already in bullish territory and price has bottomed and is resurging. All right, doesn't mean that every single trade will be a winner, but in general, those are very powerful signals. VeChain looks pretty good. Out of the trade below 130, looking for higher profit targets here. 142, 146, maybe front running that resistance, or you could shoot for the moon and say 147, 158. And we'll reevaluate if we get to those levels. All right, next, TRX. Let's look at Tron Bitcoin again. Still have to approach this with a bullish fundamental. All right. All right, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Just like all other altcoins right here, kind of did a bottom sideways consolidation. And even though, yes, I heard the argument, yes, Tron did go on a massive tear and pulled back down and settled, but it has settled at a fairly significant level again, as you can see right here. Previous resistance, new support right here. It's been tested once, was resistance twice here, broke through, pulled back to support, critical level. You can see here that we did bottom, put in 1, 2, 3 tests. We already kind of stop loss onto that area as well. Would not rule out. This is going to be one of those difficult scenarios where, hey, you know, what if price stabs violently down here? Is it a stop loss hunt? Is it a liquidity grab? Most likely not. Most likely that's legitimate breakdown, just based upon the fact that you are in somewhat of a downtrend. Hold on, just one sec. Based on the fact that you are in somewhat already of a downtrend established, but I'm going to give TRX, again, I'm approaching this from a fundamentally bullish perspective. Again, TRX, putting in some nice sideways consolidation, coming up here and testing previous resistance, coming up, testing resistance, forming a higher low, and looking to break it. The volume's coming in too as well. We're well above the explosion line, and the explosion level is curling up as well. That's what I like to see. Looking at time transformation, giving us, again, that same kind of continuation cross. Not the kind of continuation cross that I like. Again, this is indicative of a fake out because the lines tried to cross to the downside, but then immediately uncrossed. So you would have gotten potentially a fake out. On this candle right here, showed you a little bit of bearish hidden divergence. Would have given you a decent short trade, I guess, for 2 candles, putting you in for about 1% profit. Not the best trade. Again, you mostly got faked out of your long position at that point in time after getting some nice bullish divergence on this candle and a buy signal on this candle right here. Alrighty. So we'll see how this thing goes. Again, below 5 any closes below 566, I would view that as a legitimate breakdown. Until then, look for this thing to retest previous liquidity at 605, 606. That's on that chart. Let's go look at TRX H19. See how the futures contract is evolving. TRX H19, kind of the same thing. We talked about this one on the live stream the other night on PyLai's live stream. So by the way, if you guys aren't aware, I do the streams for about 2 hours every day, 12 to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. But I will begin being on go over to PAILAI on Twitch. He's one of our traders He's one of the traders in our trading group. And he's going to be streaming a lot, man. he's going to be streaming a lot, and he's looking to make this his full-time profession. So we're going to be on there going over trades live. So guys, go check him out if you want. Highly recommend that. Good information to be had, especially because we were on there. We were on there not last night, but the night before with about myself and about 5 members of the trading group. We were going over positions, we were going over trades. And what I said about TRX at that time, so we were right here and TRX was pumping. We were pretty excited about it, looking for the 606 area right here. And I said, nah, it's okay. Price can pull back down to about 583 and retest the area of breakout right here. As you can see, you have resistance. You have a pull down to your previous support at this level in time. And then price just puts up this nice ascension right here. Not putting in the really bullish momentum that we want to see for a big push, but I still like it. It looks good, man. Definitely holding on to my position. All right, next on the line is going to be Cardano. So Cardano BTC. Everybody's excited about this one. You know what that means. TIED. You're going to have to use some kind of VPN, man. Scott Bias. Hey, thanks so much for the wonderful comments, man. I appreciate that. Happy to have you here. TIED says, I have a theory that the futures market was crested on BTC in order to crush it. However, this may be providing liquidity and the futures will come back to haunt the central bankers when they pay out. It's a possibility. I think that if we look at the launch of futures, when the CBOE and CME launched, just about right when Bitcoin was peaking, we saw that acted as fuel to the fire to increase the volatility movement to the upside. And then again, pretty much provided, it was very... none of this was mistaken. I mean, none of this was mistaken. Again, the writing was clear on the walls. Whenever you have an asset that is just going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, you know that the decline is going to be fairly violent. And again, we were right along there with everybody else being overly irrationally exuberant as price was peaking. But when it started to put in its first bearish signs, it wasn't recovery time, guys. It was time to go down. And again, the CBOE and CME launched at the exact opportunity, providing your more traditional traders who had been, basically chomping at the bit to actually short Bitcoin, providing them that opportunity. Now we're on the opposite end of the market cycle, and we see things like Backed and NASDAQ listing Bitcoin futures, which will happen. So I think that it will do the exact same thing in the opposite direction this time. Power to Achieve says, CBOE has gone from the space. I am too. Peace out, guys. I'm gone. Patrick Wright asks, what third-party app do I use for Binance? So I've used, so right now I am experimenting with a new one called Trailing Crypto. Historically, I have used 3 commas. Other ones that I have used and played around with are Trade Dash, Quant Tower. I know some individuals that use MetaTrader 4, which I would like to get back to using, but I have not spent the time to pimp it out for what I need it to do. FYI, Himalayan salt also has trace amounts of natural uranium in it, but no amount of radiation is safe. Well, hell yeah, man. Let me double down on that Himalayan salt then. Maybe I'll get superpowers. You said radiation, man. Ricky Thompson says, can I repeat the info on the Twitch stream again? Yeah, sure. So let's, it's https twitch.tv/pili. I want to make sure that, let me pull that up myself. Are you streaming right now? Might be streaming right now. Yeah, all right, cool, I found it. That is him. I'll put that link in the description right here, man. There's the link to Pilot. John, thanks so much for the sub, man. Highly appreciate that. Jermaine Leisner says, hey, my friend, where did you learn all of this and how long have I been in crypto? So I've known about crypto for a significant amount of time. I've been actively trading it since 2016. Prior to that, I traded Forex. Prior to that, I traded options. So I approached the market as a trader. Where did I learn everything about trading? School of Hard Knocks, but as well as having excellent educators and mentors as well. And developing, again, surrounding myself with a team of individuals that are able to do well at the things that I'm not good at doing. So, and I view my friends and personal relationships the same way. So if you're really good at, I try to surround myself with individuals who are talented and driven and successful. And then I look to enhance their lives by providing them knowledge about stuff that they're knowledgeable about, and enhance my life by receiving information on stuff that I'm not knowledgeable about. Buy a Geiger meter first, please, Justin. We need you here. Okay, so is it a good time to buy Bitcoin? It depends on your time horizon. Overall, yes. If you are looking to be a passive investor, I think anywhere between 3,000 and 4,000 is going to be roughly a good entry. It doesn't really matter if price goes down to 2,500 on a fairly short-term basis, because I don't think, even if price does go below 3,000, I don't think price will go below 3,000 for very long. I think if it does, it'll be fairly violent before eventual accumulation back in these ranges anyways. So if you are looking for an overall average good entry, which is what it's about, it's not... If you're not a trader who's obsessed with timing the market or just taking the best fantastic reversal trades all the time, if you're just a passive investor who's looking for a good average entry, yes, anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 is probably a good price. Not financial advice. Make your own decisions. Choose your own risk. But just be prepared for it to go down 20, 30% potentially. So maybe even more. But patience. All right, so let's look at Cardano on the 8-hour chart here. Okay, a couple options. You can either aggressively look to short the situation right now and look at this area as current resistance. Otherwise, we've got some significant resistance coming up at 1359, which again, we've tapped 1, 2, 3 times. Excuse me. Woo. This is going to be the Binancean chart. So 1, 2, 3 times, haven't been able to clear that level. Again, you short resistance and you long support. Ides has been on a nice little tear, which means I have to be looking for opportunities to short. Looking at the 8-hour time transformation, we have not yet quite reached the overbought level yet. A little bit of unnatural volume back here, a little bit of hidden bullish divergence on what this candle right here. Excellent entry right there. Let's see. I would say a little bit of volume divergence, but not really, because we've also gone from light green to lime. All right, so putting in this nice spinning top doji at the top of a cycle. Definitely a short-term shorting opportunity. Looking for a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if it turns into a sustained swing movement, or if it turns into a sustained downtrend. I have to be looking for what just happened. Let's move that bad boy over here, and here, and here, and I lost everything. Hopefully I didn't. Okay, good. Everything's still working. Let's see. Yeah, ideally I have to be looking for short opportunities for ADA. Coming in the vicinity of resistance. Coming into the vicinity of resistance, I have to begin looking for shorting opportunities, which, again, I've already talked about. So I can't look at the H19 chart because I just freshly posted a signal for that. And again, I like to keep their confidentially. No, it's not about the confidentiality, but you know, if I post a signal and then I just completely analyze that signal on the stream, people are like, "What's the point?" So, thank you, Jasper. Just yes, smashing, hitting, shooting at that like button. Just kick it, man. Just choke slam that like button. Let's see here. Yeah, if we can get above 1360 though, then most likely we're going to go up here and head for that 1666, which is my upside profit target. Should we clear 1359? But right now, I wouldn't get caught up in the irrational exuberance. Spinning top doji on the 8-hour. Let's see how significant the pullback is, and if we do or do not start marching higher. Either way, I'd definitely be looking for opportunities to short against the exuberance, at least in the short term. We'll see how it plays out. Somebody asked me for, where's it at? I just see that. Jake Rezio says, could you provide a list of books for trading? Yeah, that's so one that Dima recommended was that In the Zone. It's in our library. I recommend Tom DeMark's New Science of Technical Analysis. Was one of the first books that I read. Really, really good book. A little outdated now. Obviously, Confessions of a Stock Operator and The New Market Wizards are very, very, very good books. Generally, books about psychology are going to be your best books. Most of the books about trading are okay. That's why I prefer the books about trader psychology, like New Market Wizards, Confessions of a Stock Operator. If you want my best recommendation, like the best book on my bookshelf right now for trading, even though it's not directly related to trading, it's Jocko Willink's Discipline Equals Freedom. That's the best book that you can go get right now. The other book that I recommend is, let me get my signed autographed copy, Mr. Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. This is a pretty good one. Most books on trading out there are going to be okay. There are some really good ones. I need to make a list of. I'll make a list of recommended books, man. Off topic: benefits of Himalayan crystal salt. Later, Luke. Take it easy, man. Okay, so we gotta let's go over here and look at CRM on the New York Stock Exchange. CRM, Salesforce.com Incorporated. Somebody had requested this on the SIBO. Okay, let's take a gander here. Let's start off the weekly. Looks good, man. Looks good. You're kind of at that pivotal decision right here, because look at the structure right here, and these are really good examples of it right here, where you have a nice little rally. Okay, so you have a nice rally, you hit resistance, you have a significant pullback, you hit that resistance again, you go slightly above it, you pull back, form a higher high, and then you can continue on in the breakout. But anyways, man, it'd be very difficult. I'm definitely not going to be the one that's going to say, man, short it, let's go. You'd never try to pick tops in a bull market, man. Never try to pick tops on something in a bull market. If we look at, let's just give it a glance with the current settings on time transformation. It's done okay. It's got you dollar cost averaged into some things. So yeah, I'd definitely be using time transformation as a trending indicator at this point in time. Let's take a gander. Heikin-Ashi's done really, really well, though. Again, I want you guys to understand that this version of Heikin-Ashi does not repaint. That was the big thing that I had to fix. It's also way more accurate. So using TT as an entry indicator, crossovers below the zero line, actually continuation crosses are going to be the best. But yeah, just look at how well the trending indicator has picked things out, man. Yeah, again, you never want to call. And also, the other thing is, too, when you're trending very strongly to the upside, anytime you see sell signals from time transformation or any indicator that you're using, those represent not opportunities to go short. They represent opportunities, or just blindly short. They represent opportunities to take profit. So, but anyways, let's take a gander what we got right now. Let's see here. So nice little double bottom off here, and retesting that area of resistance again, going directly above resistance right there, just slightly above resistance, and then pulling back. Now the time transformation is flashing you a weekly sell signal. If we look over here, we can actually see that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks of it telling you to be on the alert for this signal. So ever since here, it was alerting you that, hey man, be careful, you're coming up on this. Look at Wada Tar. The current week, which again, the weekly isn't closed, but the last 2 weeks have actually been pretty lame, below the explosion level. And actually, we flipped bearish there for one. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, right there. So the only way to trade this, though, man, the only way to trade this is to expect that pullbacks are opportunities to go long in a rally. If you're looking to reverse against this or take a counter trend trade, then we need to make a lower weekly close than this high right here and continue going down. So the other way to look at this would be an SFP, or a traditional swing failure pattern setup. So let's take our brush. So we have point A right here. Take off that. We have point A, we have point B, okay, and then we have point C. All right. So a swing failure pattern would typically, we've typically invalidated what you're going to be traditionally taught as a swing failure pattern because we've already had a higher high. However, that represents, I don't know why I just drew another circle, but that represents also a grab for liquidity because again, we talked about this. We hit resistance, we have a healthy pullback, we double bottom, whichever you guys know how I feel about chart patterns. Anyways, and then we go up and we go just slightly above that previous high before beginning a pullback. Now, if we can begin trading above the previous high, then that's a bullish call signal. Then you can go long. And you adjust your stop loss. If you were going long here, my stop loss would be right here at the low of this candle right here. Or the low of the candle that breaks resistance. That's acceptable as well. Now, you can also wait for that same thing. You can wait for that BPC, the break, pullback, confirmation. And then you're going to enter here and you're going to set your stop loss below, again, the low of the candle that broke resistance. But alternatively, the only other way to do this is so we had point A, point B, point C, and this is not ABC wave stuff, guys. This is price action. Anyway, so this is a swing failure pattern. So swing 1, swing 2, swing 3. The only other way, if you're looking for confirmation, I mean, look how far this thing has rallied. If you trade below this level right here, then that's a swing failure. You have your confirmation right there. And on a higher time frame, you would look to go short below this level, obviously. The only other thing I would do is that if we do end up forming a lower weekly close here, so if this weekly closes below this level and begins rejecting the other way that you could trade this, as well as any failure of this level right here is a short as well. But right now, you'd just be, even if you're going short, you're just playing this range. You're just playing this range right here. Because you have a range low, you have a range high, and now you're going to have equilibrium. So oops. If you really, really, really want to stop. Yeah, you're just playing this range, man. Looking for that pullback to maybe 139.87. Let's go down to the daily if you're looking for a more short-term trade, man. Daily hasn't done too bad. Still giving you way too many sell signals. Again, I'm not even adjusting this for anything else. This actually, the daily looks a little bit more bearish. This is some pretty weak movement to the upside. We see that Wadatar has volume declination right there. And so again, we're talking about on the weekly making that lower weekly high. Time transformation isn't overbought yet and is trading above the zero line. But yeah, this is pretty weak sauce action, man. This is pretty weak sauce action. Let's see if I mean, we're at that previous resistance level. Let's see what kind of reaction that we get off that. I think if we open and close the daily above this level right here, I would probably be long, just from the daily perspective. On the other hand, if we fail from this level, I'd probably take a reversal short. $161.58. Yeah. Kind of at that indecision moment right now, man. B4D Trader. It's right at the top of the screen, man. Premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All subscribers get access to the time transformation for any length of subscription. In addition to time transformation, you also get access to Quadrigo, which is my risk management strategy. And you also get access to, you will be getting access to the strategies being published in the middle of April, and then Compassion, which is the next indicator that I'm finishing right now, which will be available at the end of April, and then Fidelity coming out in March. Both are strategies that come with backtesters as well. There's a lot of sludge in the bottom of this coffee cup, man. Is that Himalayan salt? Yeah. Honest people trading on not so honest exchanges. What could go wrong? Yeah. All right, what time is it here? Oh, 1:51. We got time for a few more. Let's look at OMG USDT. Doesn't look bad, man. The last time we looked at this, we talked about entry, resistance, take profit, resistance, take profit, resistance. Looks pretty good, man. I don't really like these huge wicks to the upside, but to get a crypto that can't scare you off, man. Generally foreshadows reversal, but I wouldn't bet against OMG, man. It's had a nice period of accumulation down around this range below the critical resistance of 165.84. So getting a nice daily close above that level, I think we'll probably go to 206, 285. I wouldn't want to rush in to enter right now. Again, we already hit the take profit target that I talked about, 155. It's a nice little 27%. Yeah, if we get above 165 and close the daily above that, again, needing that BPC, guys. So you need break, pullback, continuation, right? And this is where you enter, right? Once you close, you trade above that high, okay? But yeah, if that happens, then I'd be pretty bullish. I'd be looking for 206. I think OMGs, I mean, they're launching their own exchange. The chart looks really good. Tar is telling us good to go. Looking at time transformation, we're not yet oversold on the daily yet. Obviously putting on a natural volume right there. Typically you look to counter trade on natural volume, but I can't short OMG. So all I can say for right now, definitely an area where, since we already hit my take profit target, I have taken 50% profit. Stop goes at break even, and I'm not looking to do anything again until price closes back above closes above 165. Price closing above 165 is a significant break of resistance, and if we get that BPC, then it's good to go, man. It's good to go. Would not bet against OMG right now. That looks pretty strong. Doesn't mean right now is the right time to enter. Again, timing. Don't enter very close to resistance, but if you get that break of resistance, then you're good to go. Go look at ZERP USD. I can feel it zerping in the air tonight. Go long. I want to say that ZERP looks good, man. Let's go look at every time I look at ZERP USD, I feel like it throws me off my game. So let's just go. This is where I'm looking at the markets, man. Let's go look at ZERP BTC. All right. And we talked about that. We've talked about this at length, right? ZERP is on the frickin' precipice, man. Look at this gap right here. Look at this gap in the volume profile, all right? That's gorgeous. This is a beautiful trade. If price violates this area right here, then I'm in a strong momentum short down to about 7,000 sats, man. I love it, dude. I really like this setup, man. I really like this setup. Like I'm looking for any reason to be short on ZERP. This is one of the charts that I'm watching the closest, man. This is one of the charts that I'm watching the closest. Now let's get rid of that and go look at recent price action. The other argument that you can make is that, well, man, just like with Tron, dude, like ZERP's been in a downtrend and all the alts have pumped, man. When's it going to be ZERP's time, man? Unfortunately, ZERP's just been underneath this resistance downtrend for such a long time, dude. And every time you trend down, you pump, and you trend down, and you pump, and you trend down, and you pump, and this time will be different. You could say, well, look, we formed a higher high. I'd like to see it, man. I'd like to see it, but I cannot, will not think about taking ZERP long until we're back above 8,550 sats. If we get back above 8,550 sats, okay, then I'll go long, and I've got upside profit targets there. That's a significant break of resistance. You could potentially do the same thing above 82, 88. And again, we've taken smaller term scalps on ZERP, yeah. But ZERP's one of those coins, man, and ZERP's one of those coins, dude, that there are certain, again, I'm very good at trading. I'm successful on just about every trade that I take. I have losers, but overall, my trading strategy allows me to make more profit than I lose. This is how I'm able to do this full time. The problem is you have to know what your weaknesses are. And ZERP is one of those coins for me that sometimes if I have to look at over time, like what have been my biggest losses or like my most significant losses, they're pretty much all on ZERP H19. So Robert Patrick, what do you mean, man? Pass your iPod. Did you ask a question, man? Oh, the LT pulse. No. It's because that's gonna take time, man, and I wanted to dive into it. I'll look at that next, man. The best Pine editor learning resource. Good question. The reference manual reads like ancient Sumerian. And to be honest with you, in the TradingView chats, in the public chats on TradingView, I used to go into the Pine editor, like coders. They're like, come in here and ask questions, and nobody ever helped me out. So I had to go and learn everything just by looking at other people's scripts and asking questions and finding friends who were good at Pine, and then asking other coders to help me out with syntax. And I'd just bug them like, hey man, go look at Pine and tell me how to make this thing happen. Until I finally learned how to do it all myself, and it's taken over a year, man, to feel like I'm proficient in it and start writing my own indicators. Because I know what I want the strategy to do. I know what the indicator I want it to do, mathematically, algorithmically. But making that appear in Pine and then having stuff happen on the screen, it's been difficult for me because I'm not a computer science expert, by nature. So it's been a struggle, but yeah. And so actually, it's right here. Let's go to the where is it? The public chats, and I believe the channel is I have it on here, man. I pop in here. I pop in here a couple times a week, and I answer questions for people. Where the heck is that? Pine script editor right here. Pine script editor is the chat. So I come in here about once a week, and I try to help people out with Pine as well. And sometimes you'll get some help, man. It's not like there's just nothing but terrible people in here, but it's not a bad resource, the Pine script editor chat. But it's not the best, to be honest with you. QXRPR me 3, 2, 1. Well, Mr. Ether, if you increase your leverage, you're not going to increase your profit. You're going to have to increase your position size if you want to get more profit. If you move your leverage slider over to 100%, all you're going to do is take more margin out of the trade, meaning that you're going to have less of your own margin up. It's not going to affect your P&L. The only way that you can get more money out of a trade is by increasing your position size. Yes, Patrick, you could have a dun repainting indicator. Which is why I've taken pains to not do that with time transformation. And why I had to fix the Heikinashi flips. But if I'm being honest with the feedback that I get, nobody trades the Heikinashi flips. Everybody wants to trade the reversals. It's cool, man. Okay, so being fundamentally bearish on ZERP. Look, man, okay, it doesn't look terrible, all right? Here's ZERP USDT. It doesn't look terrible, especially if you can get above 32.5 cents. You get above 32.5 cents, you could look for a liquidity push to 34 and retest resist, and I'd take profit at 36 before waiting for 37. Getting above 37, kind of the same thing. You just kind of skip hopping on your way up to 44 cents. But I don't know, man. This doesn't look good. This doesn't look fantastic, to be honest with you. It's got to, you really got to do something strong for me, man. It's in consolidation, and I don't know if that's redistribution or accumulation. I'm going to need to see a significant break with follow through before I want to take a trade on ZERP. Otherwise, I'm looking for opportunities to short it. Go, baby, go. Go, baby, go. And that's just not because I'm long on Tron. Don't worry about it. Good. Should have been more aggressive. Good. Good. Okay, LT Pulse. All right, locked indicator from leading trader, LT Pulse 3.0. Okay. So let's go see, let's go read on this. Go read about LT Pulse. Leading trader Pulse reverse engineer. Oh, here you go right here. Here's an attempt to reverse engineer LT Pulse based on information available in Alessio Rastani's videos. Or Alessio Rastani, sorry. So let's go take a look at this magical indicator that this dude's got. Looks like TTM squeeze. It looks just like TTM squeeze. Leading trader. This guy's on YouTube or something? I'll tell you what, this dude... Oh, it is. Okay, so this is Alessio Rastani. I'm assuming leading trader. This is Alessio Rastani. Dude doesn't talk to anybody. At least I respond to everybody. Doesn't mean I'm any better than him. It looks just like TTM squeeze, man. I don't see what's really, really good about this. Did he make it more accurate than TTM squeeze? Okay, so this is the British pound US dollar on the daily FXCM, and the beginning date is going to be the 9th of August 2017, stretching to March. So we'll do this, man. Let's see. I will create a new tab and pull this out. Go to trading view. And we're gonna go to, what's this? GBP dollar. All right, GBP USD on FXCM. Full feature chart. Dr. Faz equals leading trade. All right, so let's get TTM squeeze on here, man. All right, here's TTM squeeze. And okay, so just to make things a little better, template, and we'll go to like, all right, now bear with me because I'm about to do something real crazy. Nope. Okay. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. All right, so the first day on the daily candle is going to be the 9th of August 2017. June, 9th August. Right around there, give or take. And it ends on March 2018. Oh, March-ish. Anyway, so just anywhere from right here to like right here. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay. All right, let's look at these things side by side. See, like this thing gets down to 0.02271. Okay, on its peak, seems like TTM squeeze here gets down to 0.279. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'm just splitting the baby there. Yep, 266, give or take. Seems like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 peaks there. Here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 before the colors change. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before the color flip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before the color flip. I mean, you guys stop me when you see something different. Okay, TTM doesn't fire until the 26th of October 2017. It seems like TTM squeeze here fires on the 26th of 2017. Goes red, telling you that the Keltner channels are inside the Bollinger Band. And then, okay, this thing fires on the 24th of November 2017. So here we run into a difference. This thing fires, this thing tells you to go long on the 2nd of November 2017. So you guys see that? Here's where the free TTM squeeze tells you to go long on the 2nd of November 2017. Alessio's does not fire until the 24th of 2017. So his told you to wait to go long until this candle right here. Told you to wait to go long there. Well, seems like the free one's already better. Hold on, we'll wait. We'll see if we get any kind of confirmation here. Seems like we have a little divot here for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. Yep, and that looks the same. And then we go on a nice little tear here. Yeah, listen, guys, and again, no disrespect to Mr. Rastani. I don't know him. I've watched a few of his videos because somebody told me to, and I have no. I don't know the guy. He could be a fantastic trader. All I'm saying is that this indicator right here does not seem any different than TTM squeeze, which is a free and publicly available usable indicator that actually I have played around with and used. So you just search for TTM squeeze. The one by Greeny is this one right here. It's a pretty good indicator, guys. I used to trade TTM squeeze a little bit. It's not my strategy that I use now, but and again, I don't know if there's no description on here, so I don't know if, you know, like maybe there's alerts. Those take half a second to code in. Again, obviously there's something different in its formula because of how it pulses. So maybe over time, it is using some kind of smoothing filter that does give you over time more profitable trades than unprofitable trades. But just based on the first example that I saw there, it was so glitchy. I don't know. Hey, Alessio, if you want to come on the stream and showcase the power of your indicator, I'd be happy to have you on, man. And yes, granted, I don't think I gave that all the due diligence that is required, but I just wanted to look at that briefly. So. MacD boys. What is a pump and dump? Man, it's times like this that I wish I could say sarcastic things about other people that do YouTube videos, but I don't do that, man. Jake Rezio says, cool, I've read Jocko and JBP's book. I'm trying to get through Maps of Meaning, but it's like reading a technical manual on consciousness. Yeah, dude, JBP is on a next level. Read Gulag Archipelago, man. That's a fantastic book, dude. Yeah, yep. You're gonna need a VPN if you're in America. Again, I can't legally recommend that. It's not. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying that if that's your only kind of option, man. Patrick's like, you can stop. No problem, man. Good luck finding something like time transformation out there. Wait, actually, I'm waiting for somebody to make like to like pirate it, and I'm waiting to see like you know, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what you'd call it, like life transformation. You could look at it and be like, oh, a lot like Justin's Indie. Anyways, guys, and maybe this one might be decent. I don't know. This one looks different. Anyways, TTM squeeze is good, man, but just keep in mind that make sure you guys understand like the way that it works and how you're trading with it. So before we leave, guys, let's check in with BTC and Ethereum. Still kind of at a standstill, man. Looking like we're trying to overcome a pretty big wall. I think if we overcome that big wall, BTC could pump a little bit higher. Like I said, man, I'm not really interested in taking this movement right here. Again, if price, let's see, we've got about an hour and 46 minutes, or excuse me, whoa. Got about 4 hours and 46 minutes to close the 8-hour candle above 38.77. Should that happen, I don't think that you're wrong for taking the momentum long up here to about 39.50. It's not a big profit, but it's a profit. Still looking at this area to enter into a short position from, and it's not until we do a BPC of this area that I'm really confident about going for a long. Like maybe 15% confident about going long from here. I'm like 89% confident in going long from here. Looking at Ethereum, I can't do anything but look for opportunities to short, man. So Ethereum, I mean, I'm like, Ethereum's one of those things where it's like, dude, I would be willing to take like 4 or 5 loser trades on Ethereum before I finally catch that good one. Now, not realistically, that's not what you want to do, but I'm just saying that is the degree of confidence that I have with this particular trade. But again, if I get proven wrong by market momentum, then I was wrong and I shift my tune. Peter, sorry, I can look at TWLO, gold or platinum. Let's put those on the schedule for tomorrow. So we'll look at ontology tomorrow. Look at ontology, TWLO, ZAL, and platinum. All right. And if you're around, you can tell me what ticker you want me to look at plat on. You can also tell me if you want me to look at the CFD or the futures. Gold, man. Gold in America, dude. 1-to-1. 50x long. Any hoosers. All right, that's about all I got, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been another episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me. I highly appreciate all the support, all the new subs and everything. If I missed anybody, I apologize, but thank you so much for all the new subs. Thank you so much for all the new followers on Twitch. And thank you so much for the generous donations. I highly appreciate that. Everything, of course, does go to make the show better. Yeah. Jonathan, hit me up in the DM, man. I got you. I thought I added you to everything. I must be wrong. I apologize. Yeah, hit me up and I'll make sure you get added today. Okay, end of show stuff. Let's go to news and stats. Again, guys, I'm still moving today. I still got a lot of stuff to do, so I apologize if I'm not 100% in the Discord. I'm going to do my absolute best. Again, I'm mobile. Still got a lot of coordination to do. Should be all done by Sunday, so then we'll come back. I'll be 100% come Monday. Guys, make sure you go to freemmo.crackencryptocurrency.com. Still giving away 25,000 MMO coins. Highly appreciate the support. If you guys want some more information on MMO, please go to mmmopro.org or mmmocoin.pro. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and/or death threats, as always, please leave them in the comment section down below. Or you can reach us at contact@crackencryptocurrency.com. or hit us up in the Discord. If you guys would like to trade along with myself and the other members of the trading group, have access to my indicators and have access to my trade setups, as well as my webinar series, then you can always visit premium.crackencryptocurrency.com to get the latest information and pricing. I'd be very pleased to have you guys in there and trade along with you. That's about all I got, guys. The question for today is, did we get, sorry. I do need to do that before I leave. Did we get... Shaq tries to not make a face while eating spicy food. Liquidity grab for the video. Did we get any comments? Well, that comment's gonna have to get deleted. Let's see here. I should not get involved in European politics. Minister crypto politics. I should trade pot stocks. Yes, I got some buddies that are trading pot stocks. They're pretty hot. I'm not running for office, man. I'll definitely give my opinion on things. Let's see here. Brandon Markham. Multiple market time frame movements are becoming somewhat patternistic, if not. Sorry, this is a long comment, so I'm going to get to this here in just a little bit. But I don't see any comments on the question of the day, and obviously the question of the day got lost in the sauce. So sorry about that. Jasper, thanks, man. No free MMO today. Question of the day fell off the cliff on the end of the stream. Okay, I apologize. Okay. So the question of the day today is going to be, and I'm going to leave this in the comment section so that you guys can clearly see, but I'm going to pick a random commenter tomorrow. Anybody who comments and answers the question, I'll tip you guys some free crypto in the Discord. The question of the day today is, do you guys think that it's possible for Ethereum to go higher given the longs to shorts ratio, given what it is? Do you guys think that Ethereum is going to follow along with Bitcoin and continue moving up if Bitcoin does move for a breakout? Or do you think it is more likely that Ethereum decouples from Bitcoin given the case that I've laid out today? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Guys, leave them in the comment section down below or come on over in the Discord and keep the conversation going, guys. Until tomorrow, guys, as always, trade safely and peace out.